Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how you can recreate any VSCO filter using the tone curves in Lightroom and Photoshop. Today we'll be working in Photoshop and recreating C1 from VSCO. As you can see with the before and the after, it's almost identical to the VSCO filter. It's really hard to tell them apart. I'm going to show you how I did this step by step, and let's get started. So first we want to start with the raw image, and then we want to go over to the tone curves, and we just want to play around with the blues, greens, and reds. And what I like to do when I'm starting off is creating an S curve with the blues and the greens and the reds. So I just create this S curve, getting it pretty similar to what I want. I'm just paying attention to the background because that's going to help me with the highlights. And we're going to use the greens, do the same thing. And it doesn't really matter if it's very accurate in the beginning. We'll fix this later. Alright, so now that we have our curves laid out, we can see that it's too warm and the contrast is almost there. So let's get started with the shadows. We're going to work on the skin tone fixing this. And there's way too much warmth right now, so let's bring the reds down to add more blue. And it's just making a little green, which is fine. And then let's go over to greens, and then we'll add a little more magenta. We'll go over to blues and lift the blues up to make it a little more blue. And already that looks a little better. It's got a little too much purple in the skin still, but we'll fix that. Now let's start on the highlights. With the blues, we might want to warm it up. Let's cool it down a little bit. And with the greens, let's lift it and just play around, going back and forth, seeing what works. That looks good. Let's check the reds. Now as you can see here, I'm kind of just matching the background colors. From what I see right now is we need more greens in the shadows, and overall it looks pretty good. The final adjustments will be in the RGB curve, and that will adjust the lightness, and that will give us the final look. Alright, just going through adding more green and a little more yellow. We have a pretty similar result, and let's go over to the RGB curve now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 points, one in the highs, one in the mids, and one in the lows. And with these, we want to just kind of create an inverted S curve. So we'll lift the shadows, bring the mids up a little, and then lower the highs. So as we can see here, we're getting pretty close. We'll need to adjust the colors a little more, I can see. And that's giving me a result I'm happy with. Let's go adjust the colors a little more. I think we need a little more yellow in the shadows. And let's fix these highlights. As you can see here, we got the results looking just like the C1 filter. We can go between the before and the after, and it looks like we just applied the C1 filter from VSCO. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want more, just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.